Hello, my friend. Today, I want to tell you about a day that looked completely ordinary. It was a Tuesday morning. The alarm rang. A man got out of bed. He made a cup of coffee. He checked his phone. Then he went to work. Nothing exciting happened. Nobody congratulated him. Nobody noticed him. And if you had seen him that day, you would probably have forgotten him a few minutes later. Because he looked just like millions of other people. But years later, he would look back at that ordinary Tuesday and realize something important. That day changed his life. Not because he received a promotion. Not because he won money. Not because he made a big decision. His life began to change because of one small action that seemed almost meaningless at the time. A tiny action. So small that most people would ignore it. And that is exactly why most people never experience its power. We often believe success comes from dramatic moments. A new job, a new city, a new opportunity, a lucky break. But real change usually arrives quietly. It hides inside small choices. Choices that seem too small to matter today. Yet those same choices can shape an entire future. In today's lesson, we will explore a simple idea that has transformed lives, careers, health, relationships, and even confidence. The idea is simple. Become just 1% better each day. Not perfect, not extraordinary. Just a little better than yesterday. And before this lesson ends, you may discover that the future you want is much closer than you think. Let's begin. Part 1. The day nothing changed. So, what was that small action? The answer may disappoint some people, because it was not impressive, it was not dramatic, and it did not change anything overnight. That Tuesday morning, before leaving for work, the man opened a book and read one page. Just one page. Not one chapter, not 50 pages, just one. After reading, he closed the book and continued his day. Nothing felt different. His job was the same. His income was the same. His problems were still there. The next day, he read one more page, then another page the day after that. A week passed. Nothing seemed to happen. A month passed. Still nothing exciting. If someone had asked him whether his life had changed, he probably would have said no. And this is where many people quit. We live in a world that loves fast results. People want to lose weight in a week. They want to become fluent in English in a month. They want success immediately. When results do not appear quickly, they become frustrated. They stop. They look for another method, then another one, and another one. But the truth is that most meaningful changes are invisible at first. Think about learning English. If you learn one new word today, your life will not change. If you learn one new word tomorrow, your life will not change either. But what happens after 1 year? Suddenly, you know hundreds of new words. You understand more conversations. You feel more confident. The small effort that once seemed meaningless becomes valuable. The same principle works in almost every area of life. One healthy meal, one short walk, one page read, one skill practiced. Each action feels too small to matter. Yet small actions have a secret power. They grow, little by little, day by day. And before we continue, if you enjoy these lessons and want more simple English stories that help you grow while improving your listening skills, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Now here is the question. If small actions are so powerful, why do so many people abandon them before they see the results? The answer may surprise you. Part 2. Why big goals often fail. At first, the answer seems simple. People quit because they are lazy. At least, that is what many people believe. But in most cases, that is not true. Many people who quit are actually hardworking. They have dreams. They have goals. They genuinely want a better future. So why do they stop? One reason is that they expect change to feel exciting all the time. But real progress is often boring. Imagine someone who decides to get healthy. On the first day, motivation is high. They buy new workout clothes. They create a detailed plan. They imagine a stronger and healthier version of themselves. Everything feels possible. Then reality arrives. The workouts become difficult. The excitement fades. The results are slow. After a few weeks, they begin to wonder if the effort is worth it. The same thing happens when people learn English. Many learners start with energy and enthusiasm. They watch videos. They buy courses. They make big promises to themselves. For a few days, everything goes well. Then they realize something important. Learning a language takes time. Some days are easy. Some days are frustrating. Some days it feels like nothing is improving. And that is where many people give up. Not because they cannot succeed, but because the results are arriving more slowly than they expected. Big goals create a hidden problem. They make us focus on the finish line. We become obsessed with where we want to be. We forget to pay attention to what we should do today. A person who constantly thinks about losing 50 pounds may feel overwhelmed. A person who focuses on taking a short walk today feels capable. A person who dreams about speaking perfect English may become discouraged. A person who practices for 15 minutes today can keep moving forward. The difference is small, but it matters. One mindset creates pressure. The other creates consistency. And consistency is what changes lives. The man from our story never told himself to become a different person overnight. He never promised to read 50 books in a year. He simply focused on reading one page. That small action felt easy enough to repeat. And because he repeated it, something remarkable began to happen. Not outside, inside. His habits were slowly changing. His identity was slowly changing. Without realizing it, he was becoming the kind of person who showed up every day. And that leads us to a powerful secret that many people never discover. Success is often less about talent and more about repetition. Let's explore why in the next part. Part 3. The invisible power of repetition. Most people underestimate repetition. They understand the idea, but they do not truly understand its power. Why? Because repetition is quiet. It does not look impressive. There are no fireworks, no dramatic transformation, no exciting announcement. Just the same small action again and again. And that is exactly why it works. Think about a tree. When you plant a seed, nothing remarkable happens at first. Days pass, then weeks. You look at the ground and see almost nothing. It may seem as if the seed is doing no work at all. But beneath the surface, something important is happening. Roots are growing. The foundation is being built. The progress is real, even when it is invisible. Human growth often works the same way. When you practice a skill once, the improvement is tiny. When you practice it twice, the improvement is still hard to see. But after hundreds of repetitions, the difference becomes obvious. A musician learns this. An athlete learns this. A writer learns this. And anyone learning English learns this too. One listening lesson may not change your life. One conversation may not make you fluent. One new word may not seem important. But repeat those actions for months, and the results begin to appear. Many people are looking for a breakthrough. They are waiting for one magical moment, one secret technique, one perfect opportunity. But in reality, most breakthroughs are built from thousands of ordinary moments. The world sees the result. It rarely sees the repetitions behind it. The confident speaker you admire has probably practiced many times. The successful business owner has probably made countless small decisions. The skilled professional has probably spent years improving little by little. Success often looks sudden from the outside. From the inside, it is usually the result of repetition. The man from our story continued reading. 1 page became 2. 2 pages became 3. Months passed. He was not trying to impress anyone. He was simply continuing a habit. And something interesting began to happen. Reading no longer felt difficult. It became part of his daily life. He no longer depended on motivation. He depended on routine. That is a powerful shift, because motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel strong, some days you do not. But a habit can continue even when motivation disappears. And this is where many people face their greatest challenge. They are working. They are repeating. They are staying consistent. Yet they still cannot see results. What should they do then? The answer may be the most important lesson in this entire journey. Part 4. The Valley Where Most People Quit. Imagine that you have been working hard for months. You have been reading, learning, practicing, improving little by little. But when you look at your life, everything seems the same. Your goal still feels far away. Your progress feels slow. And a question begins to appear in your mind. Is this even working? This is the moment where many people quit. Not at the beginning. Not after the first day. But after weeks or months of effort with very little visible reward. It is a place we can call the valley where most people quit. The valley is not a real location. It is a period of time. A period when your effort is growing faster than your results. And it can feel frustrating. A person goes to the gym for 2 months. The mirror looks almost the same. A student studies English every day. They still struggle to understand fast conversations. A new YouTube creator uploads videos every week. Very few people watch. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. But that is not the full story. Under the surface, important changes are taking place. The person at the gym is building strength. The English learner is training their brain. The creator is improving their skills. Progress is happening. It is simply hidden. This is one of the greatest misunderstandings about success. People think results should appear at the same speed as effort. But often they do not. Sometimes effort comes first. Results come later. And when the results finally arrive, they seem to appear all at once. The man in our story experienced this too. For a long time, reading one page a day felt insignificant. Then one day, he noticed something surprising. His thinking had changed. He had more ideas. He understood things more clearly. He could focus longer than before. The small habit that once seemed meaningless had quietly transformed him. Not in a single day, not in a single month, but through consistent effort over time. This is why patience is so important. If you quit in the valley, you never reach the reward waiting on the other side. You never discover what your small actions could have become. The people who succeed are not always the smartest. They are not always the most talented. Very often, they are simply the people who stay long enough to see the results. But there is another reason they keep going. They have learned something that changes everything. They stop focusing on what they want to achieve. And they start focusing on who they want to become. That simple shift can change an entire life. Part 5. Thinking like a 1% better person. Most people focus on outcomes. They focus on the things they want to have. A better job, better health, more money, more confidence. There is nothing wrong with these goals. The problem is that goals alone are not enough. Goals tell you where you want to go. They do not tell you who you need to become. This is where many people get stuck. They spend all their energy thinking about the future. They imagine the finish line. But they pay very little attention to the person they are becoming each day. The man in our story eventually understood this lesson. At first, he focused on reading books. Later, he realized that reading was changing something much deeper. It was changing his identity. He was no longer trying to be a person who read books. He was becoming a reader. That difference may sound small, but it is powerful. Consider someone learning English. One person says, "I want to speak English fluently someday." Another person says, "I am a person who practices English every day." The first statement focuses on a result. The second statement focuses on identity. And identity often creates stronger habits. Why? Because people naturally act in ways that match how they see themselves. A runner runs, a writer writes, a musician practices, an English learner studies English. When an action becomes part of your identity, it requires less effort. You are no longer forcing yourself. You are simply acting like the person you believe you are. This is one reason small habits are so valuable. Every time you repeat a positive action, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become. One workout says, "I am someone who cares about my health." One page read says, "I am someone who learns." One English lesson says, "I am someone who improves." No single action changes your identity overnight. but each action strengthens it, little by little. Day after day, year after year. The man never became successful because of one page. He became successful because thousands of small actions shaped his character. His habits changed his identity, and his identity changed his future. Now imagine where this process could lead. Imagine two people standing side by side today. They look almost identical, but one chooses to become just 1% better every day. The other stays exactly the same. At first, there is almost no difference between them. But 1 year later, the story may look completely different. Part 6. 1 year from today. Now let's imagine something together. Picture two people. They are the same age. They have similar jobs. They earn about the same amount of money. They have similar challenges, similar dreams, and similar opportunities. Today, there is almost no difference between them. If you met them, you would probably think they were on the same path. But tomorrow, one person makes a small choice. He reads one page. He learns one new idea. He practices one small skill. The other person decides to wait. Not forever, just until tomorrow. The next day, the first person repeats the habit, again and again. Nothing dramatic happens. For weeks, the difference is almost impossible to see. Months pass. The gap is still small. Most people would look at both lives and say they are nearly identical. But something important is happening beneath the surface. One person is building knowledge, building discipline, building confidence, building trust in himself. The other person is staying where he is. Then a year passes. Now the difference becomes visible. The first person has read hundreds of pages, learned new skills, gained valuable experience, created stronger habits. He thinks differently, acts differently, and sees opportunities that he once missed. The second person may still have the same goals, the same wishes, the same plans. But wishing is not the same as improving. Dreaming is not the same as doing. This is why the idea of becoming 1% better each day is so powerful. It does not ask you to change your entire life overnight. It does not require perfect discipline. It does not require extraordinary talent. It simply asks one question. What small step can I take today? Not next month. Not next year. Today. Because your future is not built in a single moment. It is built in ordinary moments. The moments that seem too small to matter. The moments most people ignore. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of all. A better life is rarely created by one huge decision. More often, it is created by hundreds of tiny decisions that nobody notices. Until one day, the results become impossible to ignore. And when that day arrives, people may call it success. But you will know the truth. It was never one big step. It was one small step, repeated again and again. 1% better, every single day. As we come to the end of this lesson, I want to leave you with one simple thought. You do not need to change your entire life today. You do not need a perfect plan. You do not need to become a different person overnight. All you need is one small step. Maybe it is reading one page. Maybe it is learning one new English word. Maybe it is taking a short walk. Maybe it is spending 5 quiet minutes working on a goal that matters to you. The step does not need to be impressive. It simply needs to be repeated. Because small actions may look weak in a single day, but over time, they become powerful. Remember, the future is not built by what you do once. It is built by what you do consistently. So when this video ends, do not ask yourself how to change your life in 1 year. Ask yourself what you can do in the next 10 minutes. That small action could be the beginning of something much bigger. Thank you for spending this time with me today. And if you enjoyed this lesson, I invite you to continue your journey with another story on this channel. There are many more lessons waiting for you. Until next time, take care of yourself, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, a better future begins with becoming just 1% better today.